story of how today, 90 years ago, the most famous gangster couple Bonnie and Clyde died after being crazy, tricked by the police. It's May 23 of 1934, in middle of the Great Depression of the United States of America, when Bonnie and Clyde, the most famous gangster couple, started their last trip with their stolen 1934 Ford V8. They had been on the run for years, constantly evading law enforcement and living life on the edge, but their luck was about to run out. On May 23rd, then, a Texas lawman got the idea. He knew that Bonnie and Clyde's car was faster than the police cars of that time, and determined to end their crime spree by planning a surprising ambush. They knew the road Bonnie and Clyde would travel on and set up their trap. One of them pretended to have car troubles by the side of the road, and as soon as Bonnie and Clyde passed and slowed down to help him, a group of lawmen sprang from hiding places and bushes and opened the fire on them. Bonnie and Clyde were both hit a total of 43 times. They died, and so their gangster story ended because of camping policemen.
Good driver, boy?
Yeah, reckon I am.
No, he's better off here.
What's your name, boy?
C.W. Moss.
Well, I'm Miss Bonnie Parker.
This 1934 Ford was brand new when it was stolen from a garage in Kansas. Less than a month afterwards, it was turned into Swiss cheese along with its two inhabitants in Louisiana on May 23, 1934. So how did it end up in a Nevada casino just east of the California border? After Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker met their grim fate on the forested highway of northwest Louisiana, the car was towed to a funeral parlor, carrying their remains like an impromptu short-term coffin. Bonnie and Clyde had captivated the news-reading public with their years-long crime spree that left a string of widows, fatherless children, and heartbroken loved ones as they robbed stores, gas stations, and banks in Great Depression-era America. The car had been reclaimed by the owners from whom it had been stolen, but now with the added value of extensive ventilation, a new crusty red interior, and a story worth telling. Its subsequent history is less clear. It was apparently sold to exhibitors and featured at carnivals and fairs, but there have been numerous fakes. In 1973, this car, widely agreed to be the real deal, wound up in Nevada when it was bought by a 22-year-old casino owner for $175,000, equal to about 15 dumpsters on wheels in today's dollars. It's moved around between a few casinos since then, as an attraction to draw curious onlookers.
Bonnie and Clyde were notorious American criminals who gained infamy during the Great Depression era. Their real names were Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. They formed a criminal gang and went on a violent crime spree across several states in the early 1930s.
Bonnie Elizabeth Parker and Clyde Chestnut Barrow, the two most preferred robbing small shops as they were easy targets, but by the end of their crime run, they had also robbed 15 banks, killed 13 people, 9 of which being police officers. Clyde was one of 15 kids who grew up poor, which led him to stealing. They ended up
These are the original Bonnie and Clyde death hats. Yes, these are the hats that Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were wearing when they were shot down by police in Louisiana in 1934. You can see the bullet holes in this hat and in the back of this hat.
The inevitable end. Retribution. Here is Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker, who died as they lived, by the gun.
You're good.
I ain't good, I'm the best.
And modest.
The inevitable end. Retribution. Here is Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker, who died as they lived, by the gun.
You're good.
I ain't good, I'm the best.
And modest.
So how did it end up in a Nevada casino just east of the California border? After Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker met their grim fate on a forested highway of northwest Louisiana, the car was towed to a funeral parlor, carrying their remains like an impromptu short-term coffin. Bonnie and Clyde had captivated the news-reading public with their years-long crime spree that left a string of widows, fatherless children, and heartbroken loved ones as they robbed stores, gas stations, and banks in Great Depression-era America. The car had been reclaimed by the owners from whom it had been stolen, but now with the added value of extensive...
What would push him to become one of the most powerful gangsters in America? Picture this. It's 1920. And alcohol has just been banned across America. For criminals like Luciano, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. During Prohibition, Luciano partnered with Jewish gangsters like Meyer Lansky and Benjamin Bugsy Siegel, robbed liquor warehouses, and sold stolen booze to speakeasies.
Stepdad was a drug dealer. He likes to party. He bought me a real nice Honda bike. I like my stepdad and I respect him.
Seeking additional income, Jose's stepfather turned to also dealing drugs on the side out of the family home, an isolated ranch providing the perfect discreet location removed from the eyes of law enforcement. By the time Jose was 16 years old, he followed his stepfather into the underground economy to help provide for his family. Jose made an ideal drug courier, given his bilingual abilities and his unassuming appearance as an American-born citizen. Just a teenager himself, Jose was entrusted with moving high-stakes shipments of heroin and other contraband as he traveled relatively suspicion-free across state lines. This early entrance into criminal networks would profoundly shape Jose's future. It ingrained deeply within him the skills, contacts, and corrupted mindset that made the way for the killer he would become.
The sun rose over Imperium Invictus, its golden towers standing tall, warriors sharpening their blades, the people thriving under a single law. Rise or fall, but never break. At its heart sat Lawrence the Truth, not just a ruler, but a builder of legacies. His empire wasn't made of stone alone. It was built on strength, discipline, and unshakable willpower. But envy breeds enemies. From the shadows, a rival king plotted. His generals whispered of Lawrence's fall, and soon an army marched to tear down what they could never build. At the gates of Imperium Invictus, Lawrence stood alone, sword in hand. His voice thundered, "You think we will fall? We stand on everything." The battle raged, swords clashed, shields shattered, but his warriors fought like lions. One by one, the enemy fell, weak, broken, defeated. And when the dust settled, Imperium Invictus still stood. From the highest tower, Lawrence gazed over his empire and spoke words that would echo through time. Lawrence the Truth, the unbreakable empire. The weak fall, the strong rise, and the truth can never